afternoon, morning, evening, whatever it is you are, everyone. Welcome to a uh, a random encounter episode, a special RPG fan random encounter episode. How's everyone doing?
Pretty well.
Good.
We bring for you a very special episode today. We have gathered quite a good number of the female gang on RPG Fan so we can talk about lady issues. That didn't come out right.
I think that's the title of the episode is lady issues.
Let's do it.
So welcome to our lady cave, which doesn't sound any better either. We've decided to get the girls together. We kind of just want to offer a different perspective. We're going to kind of talk about how we got into games. We're going to talk about parts of games that we like. We're going to talk about do's and don'ts. So I'm going to introduce everybody. So we have here Review Captain and Blue Rogue Quartermaster Alana Higgs.
Oh, that's so perfect. That's so perfect. Hey, everyone.
So how's it going, and where can we find you?
Pretty good. It's pretty chilly again, which is bad. Like, we were really warm last weekend, and now this weekend, when we're recording, it's freezing cold. So I hate weather. I hate England. There. I hate England sometimes. But yeah. So hey, Alana Higgs here. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Higgs or Discord or Diving Falcons. So. Hey, everyone.
I know I've tried to search for you on Twitter a few times by typing in Diving Falcons and vice versa. Eventually I figure it out. Okay, so we also have with us Proofer Streamer and Fire Elemental Chroma Katana Rareblade, Caitlin Argyros.
Wow, I do so much. I'm not sure I can keep track of all of it.
There is no like fire katana Rareblade. No, there is one. There's one, isn't there? There's Newt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're better than Newt. You're far better than Newt.
Oh, thank you.
We should talk about
I don't think I ever got Newt, actually, by the time I finished the game. I didn't get all the blades. I certainly did not get Cosmos.
I keep putting her in my party, and I don't want to because I find her design is really ugly. And you need like a really high level with her. But yeah, okay. So where can we find you, Caitlin?
So I am Leon_Kazero on Twitter and also on Discord and the boards. But I mean, like, who goes there anymore, really?
Right.
For these days, yeah. So community moderator and honorary Ansari scientist for the N7 program, Elizabeth Maas.
Hello. I do sound fancy. Less titles, but still fancy.
You are honorary too, because I mean, I feel like you kind of filter in and out of RPG Fan these days, but I'm really happy to have you here right now.
I'm more than happy to be there.
Where can we find you? And like, correct me if I'm wrong on any of your titles.
I can be found on Twitter at _Salted Earth, on Discord, and Battle.net also as Salted Earth. I don't remember the numbers behind the name right now.
Fair enough. Okay, proofing and editor and secret member of Seas and Avalanche, Hillary Andreff. Keep fighting the good fight there, Hillary.
Hi, good to be here.
So where can we find you? How's it going? What's the story? Morning
Pretty
glory.
well. Kind of dreary here, but still nice enough.
It is dreary outside, but sunny in here.
Yes. So I'm EP Fire on the boards and now on Discord as well.
Yay! Yeah, I got to start hitting up the Discord way more. And I am your social media and social media by day and Phantom Thief by night, Stephanie Spidlow. I botched mine up, go figure. Hi! So yeah, you've probably seen me as your social media rep on the boards. So yeah, if you're listening, then it's usually very nice talking to you guys all there. All right, so just the basic, it's kind of nice that we actually have all us girls together. Gaming is generally seen as a guy's hobby. Let's not kid around with that. But it's always great to see that there are more girls and more female heroines, or at the very least some great female options for like character creations. But I think a lot of us as gamers kind of precede that push. So what got us all into gaming, and how long have you been playing for? Anybody can go.
So I started gaming when I was 9 years old. My mom got me a Game Boy, and I think it was Super Mario Land 2. I want to say it was the second one.
Is that the 6 Golden Coins or no?
Yeah.
I love that one.
It was a birthday gift because her boyfriend at the time had a couple of sons, some of whom were my age, and one of them had a Game Boy, and I guess I saw it and was like super into it, so she got it for my birthday. I actually found it before my birthday. She had it in her car, and I managed to sniff it out, as kids do.
The game-shaped boxes, like, did you ever look for that under the tree or like whenever it was your birthday?
I did. And I would shake things too to see if I could hear. Yeah, but that was how I got my start, and it was a lot of fun. And I branched out to consoles, and that pretty much the rest, as they say, is history at that point.
I'm pretty sure the Game Boy is one I got a ton of mileage on as a kid because like my dad was always on the road and he'd take us with him. So I played so much Game Boy. When you're trying to fight to get the light on the screen, the sunlight.
Yes. Did you ever get the really horribly fat peripheral to put on top of the screen? That had
nothing but fat, ugly peripherals. They were so bulky, and none of them were great. I think the one I used the most was the Game Genie, though, which came with its own little booklet inside of it.
Yes, I loved that thing.
Yeah, so that one was really great. Okay, so we heard from Caitlin. Alana, talk to us about you. I'm just going to go through the list.
Okay, so I'm hoping being the baby of the group might maybe make up for when I started. So I was 3 when I started gaming. I was born into, I don't want to say a family of gamers, but I suppose everyone in my family or immediate family plays video games on and off. So I started on the Mega Drive Genesis with Sonic 3 and kind of just spiraled into platformers from there. RPGs specifically around 6 or 7. So I started with Pokemon, kind of got my way into Final Fantasy. And then when I got a Dreamcast, I was like, oh, there's some shiny new stuff on here that looks really interesting. And just carried on from there, really. I've come in and out of RPGs kind of like, I kind of dipped out of it a little bit when I hit my like 10, 11 preteen years, but then Tales of Symphonia and a couple of other mid-2000s RPGs kind of dragged me back in, so decided to go...
There's a lot of good ones around that era too, I think.
Yeah, and it made me go back and kind of look for all of those ones that I'd missed. So I went back and played Secret of Mana, I played Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy... kind of all of them, really. And then, yeah, just...
I feel so old. I don't have anything to go back to. Like, these are the games I played when they came out.
I'm sorry.
Just for the record, I'm 29, by the way, so I'll just place myself at that.
I'm gonna make you feel young, just saying.
It's good. We got a bit of everything here. I think we actually hit up a pretty good, like, decade, I guess, time span, I think, between all of us.
Yeah. Still probably more into RPGs than I ever have been, and widening my horizons as I get older, which is always good, so...
The mid-2000s, I think I was really into, like, the Nintendo Power scene. So, yeah, like, a lot of the Pokemon titles there, like Dreamcast, when Skies of Arcadia was coming out, I was just in pure heaven.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get Nintendo Power fever, but I had, like, all the other... Like, I was subscribed to magazines and stuff, like, when I was a teenager, so that was kind of where I really hit my stride. But, yeah, the mid-2000s were a good time, and I kind of missed them, but, yeah.
I really miss the magazines, too. Elizabeth, what about you? Talk to us a bit about you and your gaming journey, as it were.
Well, remember when I said I make you feel young?
Yeah.
I started on an Atari.
Wow.
I had a family of cousins that lived nearby that I hung out with a lot because they're a huge family, and I basically grew up with them. So they always had the game system. They had the Sega Master, they had the Atari, they had the Nintendo, they had the Super Nintendo. My own first system was a Nintendo. So probably the very first game I actually played was like the Atari games like Pitfall and, Space Invaders, that type of thing. But the first games I owned were like the original Mario games like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3, etc., etc. I didn't get into RPGs until maybe my teen years when the SNES era became prevalent, like Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Final Fantasy VI. My first loves were, even though my first RPG was Super Mario RPG, my first RPG loves were Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. And then it just kind of got out of...
It's no coincidence those are still like people's favorites to this day. Like, they have just aged that dang well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, and like I remember playing a lot of those for the first time and just being like stunned by it too.
Oh yeah, like even the 16-bit, like even the graphics for 16-bit were just incredible. Like some of the scenes, like say the trial room in Chrono Trigger, for example, or the opera in Final Fantasy VI, is just like, Wow.
Yeah, that was the first time I think I was really wowed by video games, and like projecting back on it now, it's just a bunch of pixels, right?
Exactly. But you still remember like how you felt at the time, like, wow, I just remember being like 13 years old or whatever the heck it was, and just totally impressed.
Yeah, no, like the whole opera sequence, where he's going, drrr, 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 drrr. I was like, my God, he's singing. He is singing.
It was incredible at the time. That game came out in 1994, and that was just like amazing at the time. It seems silly now, but having grown up with it, it's like, yeah, just.
I actually think Final Fantasy VII is still the one that gets that for me, because it's like 3 discs, fully 3D world, and the amount of content they pack in that game for its time to be the first big 3D entry is the one that still wows me to this day.
Yeah,
even though it's still nothing to look at, really.
That was kind of what got me into RPGs. Even though I'd already played an RPG before 7, I played Super Mario RPG on Super NES, but I didn't really. This is my embarrassing story. It has RPG in the title, and I didn't really connect that as being like a genre of games. So I was just like, oh, this is cool.
It's really just telling you flat out. Like, at least Paper Mario has a bit of a charm, more charm to its title. This is just straight up, no, it's Super Mario the RPG. But no, I think that's actually a pretty good entrance. I feel like 2 of you mentioned that now as like your first kind of intro to it.
Yeah.
I find there is no shame in having a sort of popular title be what gets you into the genre either. There is absolutely no shame in that, and I think it's great. Because yeah, like Pokemon was another one of the big ones that I think really got me deeper into the RPG hole.
Yeah, for me it was Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. I didn't play another RPG for a while after Super Mario RPG until I started talking to a friend in school, and she was like, and we were like talking about video games we've been like renting from the local store, because we just lived like across the street from each other and rented from the same store. So we were talking about the games we've been playing. We're like, wow, these all sound familiar. So one night we just got together, had a sleepover, and tried each other's games, and we both decided that we liked Chrono Trigger better in the end. But it's kind of like went from there. We played Final Fantasy VII together and some other RPGs. Good times.
Hillary, what about you? What got you into gaming?
So it was sort of like a 2-part introduction. I had a neighbor who had an older brother who was playing Final Fantasy IV, and I was just pretty enthralled by that. I think I've actually written about that for the site before, but that was one part of it. I was just super excited about seeing the really powerful magic attacks at the end of the game, specifically with Rydia. So I just kept like going over there and wanting to watch that. And the other half, interestingly, was I actually had a doctor suggest that my parents let me use the computer to improve my hand-eye coordination. So,
wow,
yep,
That's pretty cool.
So I got started on at a young age, actually, probably about 5 or 6, on a bunch of old like graphic adventure games. So King's Quest, stuff like that too, and I've enjoyed both ever since.
That is a really good one too, actually. I think was it for like the Origin feature?
Oh,
because I think that's one of the reasons I opted not to write was when I saw that your story was actually kind of similar to mine.
It was either Memoria. I think it was Memoria.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm remembering. Yeah. So yeah, about the same here. I think Final Fantasy IV was like the first one I remember. But some of you kind of talked about it like my history of games kind of goes too far back for me to actually remember thoroughly. I have a brother who's 4 years older than me who basically picked it up before I did. So essentially it's just always been around as long as I've been conscious. So I've basically just been playing since it's just been a hobby ever since. I think the first real games that I remember was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I played that like just absolutely ad nauseum. And same with Link's Awakening. I got really into Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy 4 and 6 were just the coolest things ever in my book. But I also played like just about anything the SNES offered. I was crazy into that system. My brother and I just played that all the time. It's how we bonded, basically.
Nice.
The irony is that he's kind of out of games now, and I've kind of not stopped. Even when I say I am, I'm like, I'm over it. It's over. And I'm done spending money on your systems. And then I'm like, God damn it, that looks so good. I gotta have it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Black coal.
And then they're like, hey, Xenoblade 2 for the Switch. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I'll go pre-order the system tomorrow.
Yep, that was me too.
So the dream of quitting games doesn't look like it's going to be dying anytime soon. Do you guys ever see yourself quitting at all?
Nope.
No, not really.
I don't
I'm
know.
being like 60 years old and still playing.
If anything, I hope that's what gets me through retirement. I'd rather not be watching like Maury's Android head, on TV onwards. Or like The View and their glass case heads talking still. And bickering.
Yeah, I want to be the cool one in my senior group who invites people over to play games and eat snacks.
We're onto something here. Okay, so I think that's really cool. We got a lot of cool stories behind us. Can we at all get into like any favorite or least favorite characters that we have right off the bat? I always like to see how opinions differ on this. I know it's kind of broad, but hey, if you got any standouts, I am always curious. For instance, I just about hate the entire cast of Star Ocean 4.
That's such a good example.
I hate it so much. I was also talking about this the other day with I think somebody on Twitter, is that I actually I have a few issues with some of the outfits, no surprise, but I love most of the cast of Xenoblade 2. I think they're just an entirely likable cast.
I think the females in particular. I think the female characters in particular are my favorites. Like, I can probably take or leave Rex, Tora, and Zeke's good, but Morag and Nia make that game for me. Like, I'm only playing it for them at the moment. Really, it's just, yeah.
The girls are the real standout in that game, for real.
And also, as like a comparison point, like, how good are their character designs compared to most of the Blade designs? Like, they're actually, I don't know, I love Morag's design in particular because she takes my favorite character, well, one of my favorite character archetypes, which I might touch on later, is like the stoic general woman, the like Mira Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist, basically. That's who she reminds me of.
Warm and funny, though.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got Nia, who's like fully clothed in a jumpsuit and just adorable, and an angry Welsh cat, which is not something I'm generally used to, being from England and nowhere near Wales, but yeah, she's really cool. But yeah, I think they're really great. Good examples. But Star Ocean, I completely feel you. Star Ocean 4's entire cast, let alone female cast, is awful. Raimi is perhaps
so annoying.
Raimi is the only one who
least
gets away with it, but she has this huge hissy fit halfway through the game where she like gets ill. And then everyone's like, and then Edge is having like his like freak out moment, like, oh no, she's going to die and it's all my fault. I'm just like, please get over it. Please stop. Like, just.
That game was so nice because it had a skip feature for the cutscenes.
Yeah, all the time when I replayed it. Yep.
It also gives you a summary of the garbage you miss. And some of those cutscenes go on way too long. And like, I remember FaZe has a thing where he like falls like toe up crazy for some girl he met like 5 minutes.
Oh, Limmel.
Not Limmel. That's another story. No, there's some girl he meets on the furry people planet.
I know. I remember what bit you mean. She dies, doesn't she? And that's why he goes all
very
evil.
Unceremonious death. His eyes go red for some reason. He yells out an evil laugh, and then he leaves your party pretty soon after.
God.
Anybody else remember Sarah, the very annoying the bird folk girl?
Yeah.
See, like, they're not even memorable. So that game is just absolutely upsetting the entire way. But no, like, I remember I was thinking about Xenoblade 2 a lot, and like, there were a lot of good just bonding moments between the characters, and I actually always really appreciated that. One of my favorite scenes in that, if you guys played, was between Poppy and Mithra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they kind of
Yeah.
so they're just kind of talking about their fears and all that kind of stuff, and they kind of finish it off with the cutest high five you've ever seen. But in general, I feel like it's actually a game that really gets a lot of its character stuff done really well. Same with all the Xenoblades, actually. I don't know. I'm biased. I like that series, so I'm gonna stop talking about it. What about you guys? Any sort of favorite characters, least favorite character standouts? I like getting kind of a different perspective than the usual.
Definitely Terra and Celeste from 6. I mean,
Yes.
They were huge role models growing up, and I appreciate that they were both in the same game together because it was neat to see two of them.
They didn't really work together. They were sort of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
They didn't really have plots that interacted with each other. They kind of had their own independent plots, and they kind of took over at different times.
Right, and they were different enough that it was interesting, and right, they shared the spotlight. So
yeah,
Celestina,
really
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about them as well. They were both in the same game. They didn't just like fill out the stereotypical role of pretty female protagonist. Terra was like, figuring her out, and Celeste, at the beginning of the World War, she goes from basically like attempting to kill herself to regathering the whole party together in the second half of the game, and that's what like left an impression on me when I was a young gamer. Like just getting the whole band back together.
Yeah, no, and like even as like as cheesy as it was, like as a little girl, she was like my Barbie. She was that long-haired, beautiful blonde in my life that I just kind of idolized. I thought she was really cool, and she wielded a giant sword too. So I mean,
yeah,
and like
magic, she used a sword. She was just like amazing.
Yeah, I wanted the cape.
Yeah, that white cape, that dubbed white cape.
Yeah, white cape, yellow jumpsuit, perfect.
Yeah, I liked her yellow jumper as well. I can't help but get into the fashion aspect of this, but I can't.
I love. She has some of the coolest Amano artwork, I think. Like out of all of the characters from the entire series, I love her. I love all the artwork of her. The one standing by the window, it's just I love it so much.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I think he really nailed the looks for them. Like he knew how to draw them these kind of very mystical looks. That they don't look real enough, so it kind of keeps you wondering, I guess. What they would look like in real life. And all I can picture is just the most beautiful girl that you've ever seen is what these girls would look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the effect Amano has on me, basically.
Yeah, same here, basically. And I love her line. My favorite line from her in all of Final Fantasy 6 is, "I'm a general, not some opera floozy."
Yeah.
I got to have like a ton of respect for Sabin, who's holding up a house in the second half of the game.
Yes.
I don't exactly understand what happens in that part, but I was totally into that.
Yeah. I think, one of my favorite scenes with her, I think, is actually when she first meets Cyan, and he's, for good reason, extremely mistrustful and following her basically and telling her that he doesn't trust her and he doesn't like her. And she just calmly turns around and says, "Okay, I get it. Just watch me. I'll show you. I'll prove myself."
Yeah. I feel like modern games would make a big melodramatic thing over it that stretches across a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Where it's like they finally got to take a bullet for you to prove that, like, no, see, I'm on your side.
Yeah, but no, she's just like, I just thought that was the perfect response.
Yeah, because she was tough. She's general.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? See, that does kind of make me feel bad for Morag in other instances. Like, I think she looks great. She's one of the few characters who doesn't have the camera, ogling her at any scenes. But she's also the one commonly mistaken for a guy, or, she's actually given a very, very masculine voice in Japanese, too.
Yeah, it's so obvious that she's not a guy, though. To me, anyway. Like, there's no judgment ever. So it's just the stereotypical kind of, oh, wait, she's not wearing a skirt, or she's not wearing heels. Well, she is wearing heels, actually, isn't she? She has, like, tiny heels, but she's not dressed how they want her to be, therefore she is not female, not feminine. And it's like, please stop that. Like, I just want to go and slap
she was the one character that wasn't really distracted by any of that kind of stuff, And they never really had a cutscene about it, unless it was to kind of make fun of it a little bit. But I liked her design a lot. I just thought it was cool. Do you guys have any other characters that you wanted to contribute?
I don't want to steal one from Liz. I want to wait and hear what Liz is going to say.
I was mainly going to talk about Celeste and Terra, and I got to.
Nice.
Can I ask how we feel about Lightning from Final Fantasy 13?
It's complicated. I mean,
it is complicated.
It's kind of like there's this feeling, I don't know whether it's Japanese developers specifically, but to be a good female heroine, you have to be cold, emotionless, and angry, and that's not the answer. I mean, Lightning does get some development throughout 13. Mm-hmm. She's a goddess in 13 too. I don't even know. She's another goddess in 13 3. I don't know what happens between those three games. Like, I kind of like her, but she is essentially female Cloud, which is a bit, or female modern Cloud, I should say, because Cloud is not miserable in the original 7. But I don't know.
Is that her design is iconic to me. I love her design. I definitely love it.
Yeah.
But then
I do like her design.
About the character, I just can't really be bothered.
She's not as cool as Fang. She's not Fang, is she?
I don't really care about her.
Yeah.
She wasn't the character I cared about in 13, and I didn't care about her in 13 too. Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah, I know. So like when she comes back in 13 too for a cutscene, they treat it like a big deal. I'm like, all right. I do like her armor in that game. That's about it.
Yeah, I really do like her design there, and I like the idea of her, but her execution it left a lot to be desired. Like, I'm supposed to
boring, and because of the kind of plot nonsense that 13 kind of takes you on.
Right.
I find myself feeling less pressed to care because I feel it's so made. Like, even as far as fiction goes, the plot just feels essentially made up as it went along.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh god. because like, okay, so then how do we feel about the lady cast of Final Fantasy X-2 then?
Oh,
I like Pain.
Did that? Yeah, did it work for you?
That was my role model at one point in my life. I wanted to be her.
She was cool. I like that she was kind of, quick to answer and little no nonsense. I was surprised she's actually the youngest one of the group at that time.
Yeah,
yeah,
she feels like the oldest.
Yeah.
But she's
Definitely feels the most mature of the three.
Yeah.
they have a really good dynamic, those three. That's what I love about it. Like, they're not necessarily, I don't know, like 10-2 is always a double-edged sword to me. Like, it's such a good game to play, but it just feels so needless. But their dynamic is so sweet. And it's like, this is the kind of girl thing I wanted at one point that I never got kind of thing. So, yeah, I got a lot of respect for 10-2. And I do like Pain, but Riku is kind of always my favorite, and I do love Yuna, so it's a really hard choice to make between the three of them. I love them all.
Do we have any standouts dress sphere designs?
What, the flower one, like the huge alternate one
I
that
love
Yuna
that
gets?
thing.
I love it so much.
All of their final forms of that thing, I actually thought were really, really cool looking. Pain's was just like a whole bunch of swords meant to look like a bird or something like that. Riku, of course, has some sort of Machina thing, and Yuna appropriately has a big flower thing that works for her magicness. Sure.
Pain's sword thing was definitely my favorite by far.
I feel you could go to Bevel single-handedly and destroy the church like on your own with that thing. Sorry, that's a dark thought, but I mean, that thing just looks insane.
She's like a whole new meaning to Dark Knight there.
I also really liked a lot of Pain's outfits. Like they kind of made her the more tomboy of the bunch, but she kind of gets a lot of these kind of powerful pantsuit outfits that look really cool. I think her songstress outfit is kind of like a white disco kind of Elvis thing.
Yeah.
That was just looked really
I
cool
love
on
that.
her.
So cool.
What was it though? I remember even liking Yuna's like warrior designs and all that stuff, but I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun to actually play like fashion with that game.
Yeah, even the dress for your system, that whole battle system was just like a lot of fun. Like the storyline was like cheesy as hell. It was pretty awful for the first 3 chapters, but I played the hell out of the game just for the dress for your system.
Yeah, definitely. The
I don't know what
two
it
favorite
is.
ones.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say my 2 favorites are probably the samurai designs and the trainer designs. Like, they're so playful. Like, samurai
The samurais
designs
are fun, yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool, and they're definitely what you would imagine a traditional samurai to be like, but they don't really like sacrifice any of the traditional armor just because they're female. Like, there's a little bit of flesh.
They're colorful too.
Yeah, they're really colorful, and they don't really expose too much flesh. And then the trainer outfits are really sweet, so they're just like most of them have long robes and really long sleeves.
I love they all get their own animal too. Yeah,
I know, it's so adorable. Doesn't Yuna gets Diagoro, doesn't she? Well, not that's not the name of the dog, but she gets Yojimbo's dog.
Thing, yeah.
Riku gets a little funky.
Do you guys remember the mascot
And
outfits?
Pain had a falcon?
The mascot outfits were so cute. I love how they have like sort of a bit of a pot belly too, so it kind of cartoony. And like one thing I like is the girls have a lot of attitude in these outfits, so I think it's a lot of fun. Like all of the all the poses for the Black Mage outfits are really cool. Like Riku's outfit looks really cool. Pain has like sort of a bit of a bootcut flare out on hers, and it looks pretty awesome for a bootcut. I do remember I like Riku's white mage outfit because it leaves room for her hair.
Oh yeah. I love that.
But yeah, no. So I even like the gunner outfits. I don't know why. Okay, but yeah, basically I just like a lot of the outfits in that game. Okay, so
I think it's just me then, right?
yeah.
So the reason why I wanted to wait for Liz to go first because I wasn't sure if she was going to mention Shepard, because I feel like FemShep gets a very high mention, and I didn't want to like grab that from her.
I thought about it, but because she's a player character who you can kind of sort of customize, I didn't really know if she was like valid or not. The way I played her, of course, I would definitely think that she was one of my favorites and still is, but
yeah, I guess that's the tricky thing with characters like that, where what they do is shaped by the player, and when it's a character like FemShep who there's nothing outside of like gendered pronouns and romance options. There's really nothing that in the story or in the conversations that identifies her as female. It's very much just like you could sort of see her as a female, like Dude Shep is the original and FemShep is just a female version. You know, it's one of those tricky things where how do you create a really strong female character? Do you create a character who is identifiably female and has issues and relates like that, or do you create a character that would otherwise read male, like, I'm sorry, Lightning, but then make her female, basically just a feminine version of a male character? And I don't know, I can go back and forth with Shepard on that, because I think what that series lets you do in terms of being able to play a character of your gender, and to shape the story and to be the hero and to be respected by everyone that you meet, and to have no one like question why you're there because you're a girl, or to say, you know, they question Shepard plenty. I mean, hey, the council, that's their job description.
Yeah.
But like, it's never about her gender or anything like that. That's never an issue. And I think that can be powerful too, even if it's a two-sided coin. Like there's good in having a character like that, where there's, you know, she's seen as competent. There's no issue made about her gender, and you can feel as empowered and as much a hero of the story if you play a woman as if you play a man. But then the flip side is, like, when you have that gender option, is it really as powerful a female character as you can be as if the only option was to be a woman? So I kind of like, I don't know how I sit on it. I still feel like, you know, when I think about female characters, Femshep is one of those iconic characters, which is why I wanted to bring her up.
Yeah.
The other one I of course wanted to mention is Aloy from Horizon.
Yeah. Oh, I love her.
Yeah. I think she's a big part. I mean, the game is gorgeous and beautiful and fun to play and has awesome music and all of that great stuff. But I think Aloy and her personal journey about finding out why she was outcast, who her mother is, what her purpose is, and, you know, just her spunk and her intelligence, and the fact that she's a beautiful woman who isn't sexualized by any of her outfits that you can put her in, that she isn't protected by, she isn't claimed by, she isn't fridged by or for any man. In fact, she runs circles around pretty much every guy she comes up against. I think, you know, for that, and for it being a AAA title, exclusive title on a console, is just amazing. And I said as much when we were talking about milestone RPGs recently, but that, you know, and you can say, oh, well, that's, you know, social justice warrior, feminist, you know, of course you're going to say that. But for me, as a
nice to have
a
girl
gamer,
hero. Yeah.
Just
right,
at all. Like, just seeing that she was, I haven't played the game yet, but just seeing her as like the protagonist of like such a cool looking game, and then such a game that I hear nothing but good things about, is just like, that's awesome. And I definitely,
as an artist, like, I just love her silhouette, you know. I love the kind of way she runs across the map, you know, the way the game is designed, you know, her hair, the way her hair is like almost flawless in that game too.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
her hair.
big coif of hair, yeah. But no, like I you know, she just leaves an impact on you, like between her, you know, incredible design, you know, the way she's running circles, not only around like characters in the game, but also these giant mechanized monsters.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but with the Mass Effect 3, I think that's sort of the point, is that, like, I guess you don't really always have to retool everything to you know, because we're talking about Lightning, how she seems to be almost like a female man, you know, but you don't really have to do that much to kind of incorporate girls into the mix. It's not that hard. You try too hard to write a girl, I swear, then I find it kind of backfires on you sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting that there is sort of that conflict going on between, like, the example with Femshep, where you do get all those same choices and there isn't much differentiation. But also, because
we all bleed blood, it's all red, or, you know, alien green blood, but, you know.
And I mean, sometimes maybe we need that, but also you're missing something there. You know, there are specifically female parts of a character's identity as well, so you miss that definitely with a character like Lightning sometimes too.
As you can see, there's just no easy answer.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually pretty cool to talk about. I actually do kind of want to pose a question to you. This is kind of a hot topic, and it was definitely around when it happened. How did you guys feel about the Xenoblade X removing the boob slider for female customization?
I had absolutely no problem with it whatsoever.
I did not care.
And I challenge anyone who said it was censorship. Please tell me your gender
Yeah.
I can't believe that any woman would complain about it. So if you're all guys, think about why it bothers you that you can't change the size of their boobs.
Why can't I change the size of the of a man anywhere? You know.
Yeah, right?
Change that bulge, lady.
It was not even the muscle mass. Like, it was literally the only part that could be customized on them. So like that one was pretty interesting. And yeah, you get a lot of weird cries of censorship stuff. I can honestly say I really don't care, because especially what some of this, quote unquote censorship targets. A lot of the time, I know it's a lot of issues just releasing that here to get an actual grade, to get, I think, what is it, the ESRB?
Yeah.
Right,
So I
of
mean,
course.
sometimes they do have to remove stuff, but I mean, like, whoa, there goes cries of censorship.
They also they modified Lynn's swimsuits so that they were less revealing.
Oh, but
Yeah, we
gross,
did.
man. She's like tiny. She's like a tiny girl.
13.
Right?
She's 13, yeah.
I remember Bravely Default got some heat for editing their outfits. The thing is, I thought it was actually more stylish. Like, it changed a like bikini bottom to like a short, which looked more appropriate. Not even on behalf of like get rid of, like, patch up the sexiness. It just looked a bit more appropriate because it was a friggin' fighting outfit.
Right.
The shorts are more cute anyway, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the Bravely Default characters have weird bodies, so I mean, I don't really
Maybe
find
that's
that
an
actually
outfit
appealing.
choice.
Yeah. I think
They don't have feet.
No, they
I
don't
think it's
have
like
feet.
what is it, Ring a Bell, who actually gets like just like one underwear outfit. It's treated as a joke outfit, as these things always are, but I mean,
Quote unquote joke.
yeah, you can't have a male outfit, like a male sexy outfit, without it being part of the joke, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas with women, it's expected. You're going to have a bikini somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing. Like, you remember, like, the Secret of Mana remake had the DLC that came with it, and you got like the tiger outfits for all the characters.
Right.
So Popoi and Randy got like full-on tiger suits, but Purim gets a two-piece. She gets.
Do
a
they know
bikini.
nothing about women? I would love the tiger suit.
I would love the tiger suit.
Rawr.
Even so, like, just some shorts or like a one piece or something would be
Yeah.
the joke, the big meme in the MMO community, or not even just MMO community, actually, in general RPGs, like, less armor, more powerful for women. No, that's where they're gonna stab me. If my midriff is showing, then that's where they're gonna go for me. If my left breast is hanging out, that is where they're going to shoot me. So
Liz just
Dragoon!
remembers Dragoon armor.
I think the mobile game for Valkyrie Profile, I think gives Lenneth like one side boob armor. It's just
What?
really, oh, for God's sake!
Why
like,
would they mess with
That's
that?
so weird.
I was gonna say, like, thinking of really good female characters, Lenneth is right up there. Why
She's
would
the
you do that?
best. I know.
Good
And
lord.
her original outfit is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that original outfit so much. It's just the right amount of like classic. So it's got a bit of a high waist, but I mean, the rest of it is just absolutely really, really cool looking. It's iconic as well. And like the way she's drawn every single time, like they put a lot of care into drawing her in every frame. And she's probably one of the few protagonists I can effortlessly say is definitely really, really good. There's no like caveat to it or anything like that. She's she does her duty. She does it very well. She's a warrior. Love doesn't really make her softer. It makes her stronger. There's no point where she's really fridged in the story for too long. And when she does, she's kind of right back out of it. And just as good to go than ever. She has that one breakdown, but I mean, that was a good, powerful moment. She's like one of my favorites. And, and in the mobile phone tradition, there is like a Valkyrie bikini, Nordic bikini outfits.
It's almost like
Nordic
Triace
bikini.
forgot. It's almost like Triace forgot how to do female characters around Star Ocean 3 because Sophia is awful. I cannot.
Yeah.
Sophia is awful. I love
annoying.
that Nell and Maria are awesome. I love Nell and Maria
Yes.
so much. But then there's Sophia, and then they just take that template and run with it for the rest of their games.
and Pepita.
Oh, Pepita's okay because she's quite cute and she's a dancer. She's also really overpowered, so she gets a little bye from me. Like,
She is, yeah. She's crazy overpowered.
I kind of like cute kid characters sometimes when they're not annoying, and Pepita's just not around long enough to be annoying. Like,
I've usually liked the Tales series doing kid characters. I feel they're one of few who makes them like not too dependent, or too like cutesy sounding without
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
pulling their own weight. Because Pepita's just a little bit too adorable all the time, so I don't really get it.
Yeah.
But like in Tales games, they tend to make them like super geniuses, or like I like even Annis, who was kind of like kid bodyguard to another kid in the religion that the game has.
Yeah, she's spunky. She's got attitude. I don't love her, but she's definitely a good example. I think
she's a gold digger with a heart of gold.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard of what was it? Okay, so I also do want to talk a bit about Yoko Taro in terms of this. We're kind of talking about fashion because I don't know, I'm a big fashionista a little bit in the real world. I spend much too much money on this and games, so I'm poor all the time. But it's a real double-edged sword. So I'm curious. There's a bit of like both ways controversy about 2B. It seems to really go either way. I'm curious what you all think about her design.
Yeah, I mean, I'm troubled at times. Like the time to like 2B, I don't need to look at any part of her to know that she's good. Like she's a good female character, female in brackets because she's an android, and all the warrior androids being like women is really cool. But there is this aspect of her design, like she's got a boob window and she's got a slit in her skirt, and her skirt's like flared up, and she's got petticoats on, and guess what, you can get a trophy for looking at her butt for too long, and it's like it kind of undermines so much. And I struggle with Yoko Taro because I think he's really good. Like recently, is it Sino Alice? Like he's got a
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, so I can't remember the details, so I'll let you do it. But like when you look at female characters in his series, or even like hermaphrodite characters like Kaine. Like Kaine does not, like anybody who's seen Kaine's design, it is literally half a nightingale with a pair of shorts and her nipples are sticking out basically. And
I can't tell if you can actually see any shadow there or not. I'm still undivided on it because I swear to God, I think there is just a bit of shadowing there. I love thoroughly.
I love her personality. Like she's such a cool character, but she's got this underlining like design thing that just really irritates me.
It's supposed to be empowering because she's trying to prove her femininity.
She doesn't need to improve her femininity though. Like if that's what she wants to do, then that's fine. And I said this in a review that's recently gone up on the site for Dragon's Crown Pro, like there's no need to design a character like that to fit into the context. Like for Dragon's Crown Pro, like, or Dragon's Crown in general, and actually a lot of Vanillaware stuff. It's not too bad in Muramasa. There's one character in Odin's Sphere, I believe, that particularly stands out. But
Dead Woman?
Yeah. Back to Yoko Taro stuff. I think I have more of an issue with A2. So this is going to be spoilers for the game, but there is a point where you have to play as A2, and throughout her entire section, she basically gets all her clothes ripped off. And she is literally wearing torn clothes and tights. So she's basically like Yoko Taro's version of Velvet from Tales of Berseria. She is literally wearing like ripped clothes, and it does nothing. Like
I like how it's like a faux camisole and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like is she technically actually almost naked? I think.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, she's barely wearing anything, and it's so.
I don't know if it's closed or if it's just kind of attached to her at some point, because it kind of goes in and out, whether it's not like weird body part.
Yeah. So
like weird android anatomy. Sorry.
No, don't worry, because that is the point. Like, I just don't see why it needs to be done. Like, why? I suppose she can't go and get more clothes because things have happened, and but it just it didn't need to happen. Like, I mean, her kind of stoic stance in like she doesn't want to. She's kind of emotionless as androids go, but like her non-attitude to it is fine, but it's just like if she's got a non-attitude about it, why does it need to be there? It's kind of like, unless a girl's going to be like, oh no, I'm going to get some more clothes, or oh, I'm going to take some robes off of one of these robots, but no, she just gets on with it, and it's like, cool, but you're exposing too much, like please put some clothes on.
The one thing I did like about it is that it looked a bit more easy to move around in, unlike 2B's dress.
True, yeah.
So, but I do love 2B's dress because I think it's super, super fashionable. It's unfortunately, it still does obviously pander to a male audience very heavily. But for the most part, I do think it's relatively chic, I guess. I have trouble talking about it. And like Yoko Taro, I find actually does write pretty compelling and pretty interesting female characters. So I'm always kind of stuck at an impasse. The thing we were talking about earlier, though, was with Sino Alice. So it's a game that does Yoko Taro just help on it, or is he actually behind the whole thing?
He's behind it, so I don't know in what capacity, but he's behind it quite heavily.
So it's a mobile game, and essentially, he was kind of told by some of his Square Enix higher ups who are like, the mobile games tend to do better when they do show a lot of revealing girls, right? And so what he did was, for this one character who was fine looking before, so for this new update, he actually gave her just a full-on armored robot bodysuit. Like, you could barely see her face as is, and she's just kind of smiling through it. She looks really cute, and so as a sort of response to that, and I think Yoko Taro's got sort of a kind of funny sense of humor with regards to what he does. Like I'm not really for blowing up a skirt, but I do find it's kind of funny that it's there in a way. Your mileage varies on how necessary it is. It is basically pretty dumb, but one thing I also do like about what's his name, Akihiko Yoshida, he's definitely a thigh guy. So I do find it kind of not a relief, but I do find it interesting that he tends to focus more on the derriere than just giant breasted women.
That's true. Variation.
The butt needs some love too.
It does.
I don't know, because I got like a wider derriere. It's annoying. So I
Me
kind of like
too.
make it hard to draw it.
Yeah, my thighs and my
Isn't that-
hips.
Yeah, I got a
frustrating
tiny.
though when you
I got the good waist, but I just can't deal with pants. I hate dealing with pants unless they're stretchy.
like you see girls in games and they have like the perfect, and it's the Barbie thing. They have the perfect proportions. They have the big boobs, the small waist. They've got the round but not too big butt, and it's kind of like.
I think
And
Square
thighs.
Enix teams are getting a little
What I
weird
look
with that.
like.
Like they're kind of hitting uncanny levels at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh well, like Tails. Speaking of Tails, like Mila's
I hate
design.
that.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like her waist is not, that cannot work for her body. She should not be alive.
I don't even
with a
think the
waist that
artist like
small.
drawing it because it looks so awkward, like in her status cut in and all that.
yeah.
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 It does.
Yeah, and like she's got like very, very big armor, so she just looks kind of weird at times, and that hair is just ridiculous. But I love drawing it.
Speaking of armor, if we're talking about fashion do's and don'ts, and I'm Mass Effect is guilty of this too. Armor where it's supposed to be either metal or it's supposed to be hard armor, and yet it's shaped for their boobs.
Yeah.
So their boobs are popping out.
Oh,
The
yeah.
boob sock.
And I'm like, I hate that. I hate it. It's ugh.
What is it? Pyra and Xenoblade 2. She's got like the boob sock stuff where it's like one breast seems to fit in each part of it, and it's just like all skin tight and it just all kind of fits in there real good.
I hate that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was so
so-
bad.
It's so
I have
terrible
never
and
seen an
unnecessary.
outfit do that. Ever.
No.
Not a real one, no.
Even when it's really sheer, real clothing does not do that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like I've never seen any clothing actually tailored to have boob pockets in it, let alone fit that. I don't know. That's weird. So yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good fashion do and don't, I guess.
Yeah, that's the biggest one in my opinion.
There was like a really good, like I hate to bring up forum shenanigans, but hey, this is one of the biggest gaming forums. So like one of the biggest topics on the Reset era forum, for those who don't know, NeoGAF is like one of the biggest game forums, is why do women criticize sexualized designs? This was specifically about women, and there's still so much flack that is given to women who just want to be heard. It's just a criticism. We're not going to go picket any fence. We're not gonna we're not gonna go complain and send out death threats. It's just we just want to be heard on certain things. And the main idea about that topic was that it's not that we don't like sexy outfits. I mean, Lord knows I bought a whole bunch of like Tails swimsuit DLC, and sometimes it's a little bit fun. It's when it's completely in an inappropriate place. So when you have Final Fantasy 15's, incredibly gorgeous pinup model mechanic, wearing short shorts and dealing with hot oil all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like,
That was most ridiculous to me.
that's
Yeah.
weird.
Completely impractical.
When Metal Gear Solid's Quiet can only breathe through her skin, then
Oh my God, Kojima!
why isn't she just
Kojima.
wearing a sports bra and sports shorts and not doing the weird thing with the broken leotard? Like, why? That's so weird and tattered. It's tattered. I mean, girls do not dress in tatters.
Exactly. Most don't, anyway.
Yeah.
Not at least not usually around their chests. Like maybe jeans.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know.
maybe their stockings or their
It's not
jeans.
my thing. I don't like
Ripping.
pre-worn
Yeah, I don't-
clothing, but I know it's a fashion thing. But like, I wouldn't want holes poking out, around my boobs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want you seeing my bra or whatever. No.
So it's just a matter of like, why are some of these designs like this? We know why.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed is that for games that don't have it, and most games don't, look at a lot of the biggest sellers, out there. You can look at like your Last of Us, look at like a lot of your Nintendo games. They don't really need it to sell it.
Mhm.
And like I'm fine with games like Senran and Kagura and all that stuff that obviously wear what they're doing on a sleeve and they clearly cater to a certain audience. I don't care, have fun. But it's when you're trying to kind of appeal to a mass market and you get some really really dumb designs that I find just become really big turnoffs.
And then they try to rationalize the design too. If they're honest. I mean, like that's the whole thing with Kojima and Quiet was that there was supposed to be a scientific in-story reason for it. And sure, I'm sure you made that idea up after she was designed or whatnot, but you cannot tell me that you went from the get-go and said, "This is what we're gonna do," and it just happens to be that she has to wear almost nothing. Like, I mean.
That's a shame too, because like there's a lot of really well written, let alone female characters, but a lot of really well written characters in the MGS series, and this one just feels like a lot of about her is just kind of at odds with a lot of the scenes she's in.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the idea of Quiet. Like, I like her character.
I think it's
a like
great
how
idea.
She interacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's just kind of like, you can get her an outfit that has her wearing basically tack suit armor, and I forget what you have to do in order to unlock it, but you have to do a bit of work to get her an outfit that actually has her appropriately clothed.
The irony.
And it's like it's not even about the skin. It's also about she's going out into an environment where she's going to have to be sneaking through grass and dirt and dust and all this stuff. She has to be able to camouflage herself. She's dealing, she's firing high-powered weapons and possibly getting shot at, and it's still bikini.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Oh no, and just the stuff when you see her on the plane too, where she looks like a cat in heat, basically.
Right. She's like adjusting herself and sticking her boobs out so that you can see. And I'm like, and she comes up and she walks to you and then she turns around and you get that ass shot. I'm like, do you two need a room?
Okay.
Do we need to make a room in the helicopter for you two to,
Yeah.
Oh, I love the scenes that replace Quiet for that one where she jumps out of the plane with like Ocelot or anything like that.
Oh my god.
And you basically get like Ocelot doing some weird sort of semi-sexy thing out in the rain, and he's kind of like touching himself while he's out there.
Oh my god.
Why
that's
can't we
hilarious.
have more of that?
Exactly.
I want more of that, please.
There's always one series I thought that had a lot of fun with its like kind of attractive male characters. It's probably the Tales series, actually.
Yeah.
Like they tend to
Pretty
make them look
boys.
very good. They usually have an outfit where they are wearing like no top at all. They all tend to be kind of respectful too. Like I think the Tales games tend to know they have a pretty wide audience and a lot of female fans. So they do tend to include just good eye candy for both. I find. So that what else was there too? God, there's a whole bunch of good ones. I remember one of the big ones I really liked recently too. A good mix of like fashion and form was the Transistor protagonist.
Oh, Red,
Yes.
yeah.
I
She's
love her.
Red,
awesome.
she's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, she's so cool looking.
With that coat with like
The feathers.
What is it? The feathers, yeah.
Yeah, and the gold. It's so beautiful.
She was
So
so
pretty.
classy.
Yeah.
And she carried a big sword.
She carried a giant sword. Yeah, a giant turquoise sword. I like one of the ones I find tends to get weirdly even a little too girly for me, even though I like a lot of the designs, is the Atelier series.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Yeah, a little too girly. Like they're not always like revealing or whatever, but they're just a little too flowery and feminine for.
They're
for
so
adults.
flowery. Another actually pretty great artist for that, and like they've been having him do a lot of stuff for the Fire Emblem series. It's probably Hidari, who did both Atelier and Fire Emblem, and I thought a lot of those designs were actually pretty cool.
Yeah, like some of the
Fire Emblem has had a ton of great artists actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of a fun like fashion do's and don'ts. I think you kind of get the idea that we're sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
You could definitely have a lot of fun with like female outfits. I feel like we're sort of like a, kind of
We're not trying to
advantageous
ruin
that.
all the fun here.
Yeah, we're not trying to. Like, I don't mind a kind of sexy enough outfit. Like, I remember loving Opera's outfit in Star Ocean 2, for instance.
Oh yeah.
I love Opera.
Yes.
She's so cool.
I always thought she was wicked, yeah. But like, it's great that you can have like, I think that's one of the disappointing things about a very sexy outfit is that you can have so much fun with female outfits. We tend to get away with a lot. Like, we can look good as tomboys. We can look good in ultra flowery outfits. We can look good in casual outfits. I'm kind of sad that like the palette for what guys can pick is, kind of a bit smaller. I mean, you go to clothing stores, it's usually just shirts and pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
So on one hand, it's kind of disappointing how often game designs tend to turn to sexy stuff, like just arbitrary like holes in armor just for the sake of showing something off. I don't get it. And I definitely don't think a lot of games don't need it to thrive.
No.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah, I think the main point is it's kind of about the context and just the proportional attention too. Like, where's the focus?
Yeah.
With these characters.
Does that ever get awkward for you when you're playing something like that and like you just kind of get like boom ass shot?
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to
bit,
pay
yeah.
attention to what was happening.
and like I see why they're doing it, and I'm definitely not the target market for that, and very obviously so. I'm just kind of like looking around. I'm like, okay.
In terms of like context and fashion, then we haven't talked about the third birthday, which probably has the worst idea of costume and context ever.
That was the worst.
There's a game that did not sell better because of its sexy angle. Like, it just,
yeah.
Oh god. Go ahead. Yeah. What happens with it, or how do you?
Well, I mean, Aya Bria is such a cool character in Parasite Eve 1 and 2, and then 3, she's still cool. But the gimmick is that the more damage Aya takes, more of her clothes take damage, and so you can tell how dead she is by how few clothes she's wearing or how few rips she's got. Like, there's no...
Oh, wow.
It's awful. And
I never
pretty
played
terrible.
this, but...
No, I didn't.
It's basically it's Akiba Strip before Akiba Strip was a thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
Oh god.
Yeah,
I do give points to Akiba Strip's clever title, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get over that. I do think that's wonderful for them. What was it though? So I know I think Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile one. Like they do have damage portraits for a lot of it, and like you'll notice a lot of the guy ones tend to be still very powerful. Like they still tend to maintain a good stance and all that stuff. A lot of the girl ones are like embarrassed or like kind of extra girly, where their legs are kind of kicked in together.
Yeah. Or overtly cute somehow.
One of them's full on sticking their ass out because like parts of her skirt are ripping. Like it's so obvious.
I mean, like, my pain threshold doesn't exist, but I'm not going to go into a funky position just for that.
Exactly.
Actually, when I'm in pain, I'm gonna like cower and like fetal position and go
Yeah.
I have a paper cut and it hurts.
Actually, to go back to Aya for a minute, the first game, that's actually kind of a good balance because she kind of has like a somewhat sexy date outfit, but she also has her workout.
I love that outfit too.
Yeah, her date outfit's gorgeous. She is a really good example of a female character from the 90s that was really well written, really well. Like, her story doesn't revolve around men, and it revolves around her being a cool cop. And
she dresses different ways, and it's appropriate for the situation.
Yeah, exactly. And then just the third birthday exists. But the thing is that almost universally is like that whole that more damage, less clothes is kind of panned by quite a few people. Like, it's not really loved by the vast majority, which is
yeah. And it wasn't a great game to begin with.
No, exactly.
It was kind of meh.
If you're gonna do it, like, I dare you
isn't
just
it-
once to not have any armor chip away around the waist, or sorry, just around the chest. Like, I dare you. I double dare you.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think though about games like the Arkham series where Batman's cape and sometimes parts of his suit will get a little bit torn as he goes through.
Right.
It never gets to the point where he's like showing schlong or his pecs or anything
Where he's
like
revealing
that.
like for real bat nipple for once,
Yeah. This time it's not latex. But like it's just meant to show that he's had a long night and that he's taken a lot of punishment and that he's, you know, he's tough and he's, you know, powerful. And then yeah, you contrast it against games like Akiba Strip and Third Birthday and any other sort of thing where it's like, well, as the game goes on, she's going to be wearing less clothing, and it's kind of like it's the same concept, but it's not. The way in which it's executed is just so different between male characters and female characters. And I mean, like, you know, to be fair,
it's not positive attention though. It's what I don't like.
It's not.
You know,
Yeah.
it's highlighting women in some of the worst ways and some of the obvious ways, and you know, ways that girls don't appreciate, even if you know that's what guys want to look at. And okay, so this is kind of a tough question. How do you feel about the people who use games as their fantasy? I hate this question, and is literally the one way I kind of sympathize against, you know, like kind of what we're talking about. But it's an angle that I really have trouble kind of dealing with.
Well, I mean, even as a teenager, like, everyone has an anime husbando, don't they? Like, even when I was growing up, like, there were always male characters that I would be like, oh, yeah, I really like him, and oh, if he was real, I would date him, and things like that. Like, we all got that.
Yeah.
So I think each to their own, as long as you don't, like, force it on anybody, like, with most things, I think. Because obviously there are games that are catered to certain audiences, and there are obviously more that are catered towards men that show women in silly bikinis and things like that, like Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, like, you know, going off of RPGs and things like that. But keep it to yourself. Like, it's just, you don't need to be like, you can't, if somebody's like, I don't like this, just be like, okay, that's fine. But don't be like, oh, but you're only disliking it because you're a social justice warrior. Like, there's no need for that.
I just don't see myself in this woman, you know?
No, exactly.
This lady isn't for me. Whereas, like, even though I had fun with Final Fantasy X-2, that hot spring scene is like the most awkward, awful thing I've ever seen.
Do you know what?
Like,
God, I forgot about that.
and like their dynamic is really good, but like they don't even seem like they're friends in that scene. Like they're just kind of doing this because they were asked to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause they're kind of shy. And just saying the basic stuff that you hear in like 90% of Hot Springs scenes, like, oh, you're hiding something. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of place.
Oh God. Yeah, so like they could have had a way more fun with that. I think the one thing that actually does kind of annoy me is like when you've seen one Hot Spring scene, you've basically seen them all.
Well, yeah, they've not I will say the Tales ones haven't aged particularly well now, and I'm kind of glad they're not a mainstay anymore. Like, they're funny, but like there's the one that compares Colette as an ironing board to Sheena as voluptuous beauty, isn't it? Or something like that.
I
And
did
it's
find
like,
Ironing Board. It was a pretty funny title, especially when they give you that little trumpet to say that you got a title. It's like, da, 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 da. You're the ironing board.
she can't help it. And the thing is Colette is really cute, so
I actually do like Sheena though. Like, despite her,
Yeah.
you know, buxom appearance, she's actually very demure, and she doesn't really reveal that much. Like, she kind of like doesn't really show it off as much. And certainly graphics back then, I mean, they wouldn't have much to show off anyways.
yeah, just stick her in Suzu's outfit, which she looks so cool in.
I like the color on her, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, like those hot spring scenes have not aged well, and
They've had fun with a few of the modern ones, I find.
yeah, I think only Exilia 2 and Berseria may have had one. I didn't do it if it did. But Exilia 2, one of Exilia 2's endings is a hot spring scene. So if you
Wasn't it
pay
like
off all the debt.
with all the guys.
Yeah, that's right. It's perfect. So it's the right subversion of it.
I think Berseria, it does a
the
gender
money ending, I think.
It does a body swap thing, so the girls are the guys.
Oh, okay.
So it just creates kind of like a different sort of embarrassing for them. It's actually a lot of fun in the way
That
Tales
sounds
games
kind of funny,
tend to be.
actually.
Yeah, it's fun in the way Tales games tend to be, where there's like the appropriate amount of freak out with some characters and just absolutely not with others, you know?
Actually, that's a really good thing to do in general, is swap male and female outfits and then just see how awkward it looks.
That picture of
when
Snake and
the
Quiet's
women-
outfit is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yes. But it makes you think, okay, suddenly the women look totally normal. They're mostly fully clothed, and the guys are like showing everything. Maybe it will get people thinking.
Guess how we feel.
Oh, hey, that's how
Yeah.
that feels. All right. Well, that's kind of embarrassing. Yeah.
And like about the fantasy question, like it's it's hard because on the one hand, I think being able to explore fantasy in general, the way video games, all of them let us do, that can be good. I mean, it's, we've all got imaginations that we want to explore, and video games let us do it, and they can let us do things that in real life would be problematic without, breaking the law or anything like that. But at the same time, those fantasies are informed by and they're perpetuated by influences both from within video games and from society at large and other forms of media. And it's fine to explore, but if presenting those fantasies and indulging those fantasies means perpetuating stereotypes and sexist, racist, homophobic, every kind of bad behavior, if that means perpetuating in real life, then it can be problematic. So it's weird. There has to be some sort of middle ground. I don't ever want to make people think that what we're saying is you can't have fun and you can't have your fantasy. But there has to be a way to balance that fantasy.
Conscious about it is basically all that we ask. Like at the very end, like it sucks that we even have to fight for that kind of a crumb. Is that we just want some respect, I guess, in terms of that. And it's a pretty far cry that like I think there's a lot of weirdness, for instance, with Ann's character case in Persona 5.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Like they glaze over so many red flags in that, and it's kind of upsetting in a way. And then they kind of give her an outfit that just sort of doubles down in the entire idea. Like a red latex panther outfit, and it's like, it's not even about like she tries to own it. It's just no, here it is, and she's kind of embarrassed about it.
Yeah, and it's like they had the opportunity if they had thought about it. Because I don't know that it was something that they intentionally wanted to do. They had the opportunity to make it a really powerful statement.
Like a Batman thing. Be what I hate, be what I'm kind of scared of in a way.
Like own it or find a way to use that to her advantage and take control of it, take back the power.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, every time it comes up, she's awkward, she's awkward. She's like, oh, I don't...
The zipper goes all the way down, all the way around too. I think it goes like the tail almost.
And it's weird considering the other female party members, their default outfits are cool. Like Makoto's is wearing awesome armor.
Makoto looks like she's having a lot of fun in that one. Like for how reserved she is in her normal life, like I feel she kind of breaks out with that one.
And Futaba's like doing the whole Splinter Cell thing, and then Haru is an awesome swashbuckler Zorro style thief or something like that.
So cute.
I love that one too, and she's so cute about it. Like she's really trying to get into character with it.
Yeah, she wants to kill you all though, as well. Though, don't forget.
All right.
I actually kind of like that arc though. I wish she'd get her sooner.
I know.
I'm working through it. I'm just about done, but I think I'm gonna date Haru.
Yeah.
Do it. Date me. Do it.
For those who can't see, Alana's icon is indeed Haru, and Alana kind of has that great curly hair thing going on like Haru does too.
Yeah, when Haru was designed, I was like, finally, there is somebody who looks like me. I could finally do it. There's no more character creator. Because character creators never have my hairstyle either, like ever.
That's so true. There are so few curly-haired girls in games, or like in anime in general. Like, they just don't like drawing curly hair.
No, exactly. So Haru is like my dream come true. She's like the anime character I wanted when I was like 12 or 13. So
and bangs. I swear to God, she's like the only character in existence that has curly hair and no bangs.
Yeah, I have bangs though. So
yeah. I'm not holding it against you though, don't worry.
Or a fringe, sorry.
Or fringe, yeah, sorry, you have to get used to our terminology.
Oh, fringe, yeah.
So like I still do have trouble with that kind of fantasy aspect, but like it's good that like the more mainstream games seem to be a lot more conscious about it. Certainly Western developers are way more conscious about it.
Western developers are far better at it, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Not to knock on Japanese ones, and again, great that if you like that kind of thing, you got a really great place, really great genre to go to for your kinks or your fixes and all that. But I guess one of the other things that really drives me nuts is like the amount of pushback that you get, and it's just feels so unfair. We want to be part of your hobby, I I'd kill for a gamer boyfriend or whatever. But then they get that kind of pushback about your hobby, for just merely talking about it is incredibly disheartening for something that I want to love, and that, as you can see, like most of us, I think we've been playing most of our lives.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'd say the pushback's not too bad anymore. I mean, it is in certain circles, but we've got a good circle of people who are supportive.
I love our crew, and even our social media actually seems to pick up on quite a bit of that too.
Basically,
I love you guys.
Oh, you do. But like the key thing is while gender is important for us, like we're women, we want to be represented properly. At the same time, don't be like, oh, it's only because you're a woman you want that. Like, don't make that differentiation.
You don't even have to pander to us. Just make it a bit more fair, and I swear that's really it. Put us in a bit more. That's it.
Yeah, don't call us out if we're like gay or lesbian or anything like that, or not.
Don't always make us your low HP white mages. We can fight.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
We can do badass stuff, I swear.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I do like the Mass Effect examples, because I feel like that's just how easy it is. Just, you don't need to be a Ubisoft who says it's too hard to make a woman walk cycle. What?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was
I just
so
rolled
bad.
my eyes and just bit my tongue.
I mean, like, let's be real, Yubi. It's not very easy to make a man walk either, right?
No way.
Because I don't think any of your early Assassin's Creed games had a natural gait.
They really didn't. It's true.
No.
It's pretty
in general too, the entire like PS2 and GameCube era had really funny running cycles too.
Yes.
Like I laugh almost every time I see was it the Baten Kaitos lead running around, because he kind of like bounces up like a bird, almost runs around. It just like it looks so funny to me. Also too, if you're gonna do jiggle physics, at least get it right. That's just a long-standing pet peeve I've had, is that they're either like way too much like waterbeds or just like bounce around like Jello, and it's neither.
They act like girls just don't wear bras in these games. I'm like, come on, even with big boobs, there's gonna be less jiggle if they're wearing a bra.
What if we had a game where the character, their weapon was their boobs, and it was insane jiggle physics? So they would just come around, they would just take us one step, and their boobs go like, wham!
But you know what? At least they're owning it, I guess.
Yeah.
They're doing something so ridiculous that it's going to be hard to stick a candle to anything else other than that. Okay, so I think we just kind of had a really good, weird, long free will and discussion for that. Curious, have you guys ever been treated weird for being a girl gamer?
Most people are accepting of it, and some people are like, "Oh, you're a girl, so you probably suck." So
I've definitely had that. People don't assume it from me, you know?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in law school, I was playing randomly in law school. They were playing Mario Kart in one of the review offices. We had a whole set of office for the different student publications, and they were playing Mario Kart. And so I joined in, and I was doing okay. And someone said to me, "Wow, I'm surprised that you're so good because you're a girl." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna take that as a compliment."
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never. I mean, like you always meet douchebags. Sorry, DBs, whatever. Online, I've run into people playing like multiplayer in GTA or Red Dead Redemption that have been kind of weird and whatnot. And you know, there's always going to be that kind of asshole who is like, as soon as they find out you're a girl, or if you have a girl's name, they decide it's their job to be a dick to you. But I mean, like, it doesn't happen super often. It's more just that sort of surprise, like, oh, you play games. And I'm like, yeah, I play games. I probably play more games than you do.
It's funny because I think in a few of our cases that would definitely be true.
Yeah, I think so. I find it often depends on the genre. Like RPGs and MMORPGs and stuff like that is like less of a surprise to find that you're female. But if you're playing like shooters, Overwatch I think is also a mixed bag, or even like playing like Hearthstone, League of Legends, people are like, "Oh, you're female." Yeah.
That's that's sort of why I find it important to kind of, create something that caters to both genders, because then you do tend to see that it opens up the player base a lot.
Yeah.
And it's great that we've gone from like barely many female gamers to there being just significantly more. I mean, you can actually finally find yourself a beau who enjoys your same hobby. And it's frustrating because then when you move in together, you're going to need 2 TVs because you're sure as hell not going to be sharing that.
2 TVs, 2 computers, 2 everything.
I need the TV at these times for raiding in Final Fantasy XIV. You go somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is my time right now, okay?
I guess it's interesting that Liz brings up genre, because I've had it where, like, sometimes when you go into a game store and you buy something like, I don't know, Pokemon or something, they'll be like, oh, so you play games, what do you play? And I'm like, oh, I play RPGs and that. And they're like, oh, so you don't play Call of Duty and things like that because they're RPGs are girls' games, or like they're easier for you to play. And it's like, no, if I put the time and the effort into a FPS, I would probably be pretty good at an FPS, but it doesn't interest me because most of them it's to do with marketing. And I don't like to say that, but like, it's clear that Call of Duty is a man's game, quote unquote, kind of thing. Like, it's clearly aimed at one particular audience. But then when you have people in game stores telling you like, oh, you play those games? No, I don't play those. I play real video games. And it's like, there is no such thing as a real video game. Like, my video game is just as valid as the one that you're playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd be like, suck it, Hoser. You're out of the zeitgeist right now, okay? RPGs are back.
But then I've had like really cool people when I bought like Smash Bros back on the GameCube or the Wii, and the guy was like, oh, who was your main? I'm like, oh, I played as Marth. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. And it's just like, there's two sides to a coin. Like, there are people who are understanding. And fortunately, I have a nice group of friends. Like, actually, most of my friends are girls and they're gamers and they play Fallout and Skyrim and Final Fantasy and BioShock, and they do not give a monkeys. And then my other half is a gamer who plays the same games that I do, but also plays more visual novels than I do, and also plays FPSs. And it's like, there's no difference. They're all games. There's no, while
it's really
some are
self-defeating to make fun of people's hobbies like that. I don't understand why anybody does it, and I find it really upsetting when people do. And that actually goes very generally, like
for everything. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what is it? The golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated, and all that stuff. And nobody follows it, and everybody is sad because of it.
No.
But like, like if people are upset by like, some of the kind of LGBT issues that are brought up in Persona 5, why not? I mean, they want to love this just as much as you do. They really want to be part of this, and it just kind of sucks when when kind of parts of something you like are kind of out against you at times, or treated like they don't care about you in ways.
Yeah, and that goes back to the importance of being heard too, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah,
exactly.
What was that game that came out on Steam earlier that everybody downvoted because they referred to the character as a they, like in the so there was a game that came
so petty, like who cares?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, exactly. So the main character is non-gendered, if I'm correct, or I apologize if I'm offending anybody, but like they're not male or female basically, and everyone's like, oh, but it's only because you're being politically and socially correct kind of thing. It's like, no, if that is how a character wants to be defined as a they, that is how they deserve to be defined. Like, even though they're fictional, like there needs to be characters like that so that other people who also define
people can have
themselves
their
as
heroes.
Exactly, they can do the whole like, oh yeah, they can have their like idol basically, like, oh, I finally sim myself in a game kind of thing. Like, the thing I struggle with is when there's a bisexual female character, like they're always depicted as like I need sex all the time basically. That's not how they work.
I am bisexual, so I need double the sex.
Exactly. That's not how it
actually works.
No,
I am constantly like fanning myself to like the men and the women, like come.
Yeah, so it's like, great,
okay.
bisexual character, cool, but you're like stereotyping them horrendously. So please
they also
don't.
tend to be by and large very female.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, all the time, because it's more attractive, quote unquote. But everybody deserves their own representation that's fair, and women, doesn't matter what you are, and kind of thing. Yeah,
but like, you even get gamers being a fickle bunch about like a lot of things, even like difficulty options, where it's like, oh, there's an easy mode for like babies for RPG. It's like,
For the
Who
noobs.
cares? Yeah, like then don't play it. I don't understand.
Exactly. Did you know exactly how everything worked the first time you picked up a controller? Probably not.
There was like a
No.
lot of pushback when developers were sort of reading gameplay secrets, where it's like they actually do make things easier if things are too, kind of little secret programming if things are too hard for players. And again, people got mad about that. And it's just take a step back from what you like. Realize, like what you're complaining about will not matter in 5 years.
Yeah, if it helps somebody else enjoy their experience more,
And
then
somebody else
great.
gets to enjoy it, and then that's just more people you get to talk with. Like we get a lot of pushback too. Like I didn't know this was an RPG, and I'm like, like I think it's a lot of stuff that like a lot of RPG gamers will appreciate. So I mean, why the pushback? It's something we can all enjoy. We can expand what we cover.
Mm.
Like I just want happy humans, basically. Is
All
my
time.
whole perspective? Yeah.
Agreed.
Shiny,
For sure.
happy people.
Yep.
Holding hands.
Okay, so I did just sort of want to play like a little sort of either or kind of game if you guys want to get into that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No.
So just a quick kind of like shout out like what your favorite is about two different topics. Yeah, let's do it. So let's start off easy. Tifa or Eris?
Tifa.
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 Eris.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm the only one.
It's really hard because actually I really didn't like Eris as a kid, but when I replayed Final Fantasy VII like 5 or 6 years ago, I really like her character arc. She's cool, so they're almost equal, but
I like her
Tifa
character
is-
arc more than her personality. I think she's kind
Yeah.
of childish. And
kind of,
annoying,
yeah. I like
Very pushy.
yeah, but I like Tifa. Like she was the tough girl when I grew up, and
Yeah, that's what I like about Tifa.
but I love them
I
both.
Eris,
Tifa
but-
helps her boyfriend when he's catatonic. That's a big deal, I think.
when he still thinks he loves Eris, like please.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, I'm like, man, Eris actually made Cloud laugh. Well,
True.
That's
Yeah,
darling.
I ship them. That's why I like Eris more.
Aww.
Oh wait, yeah.
I don't tend to like the childhood friend trope.
I don't
that
either.
gets used,
That's fair.
so
Yeah, it is overused.
I was kind of initially kind of like,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't necessarily like Tifa as a match for Cloud. I just like that she was like the tough tomboyish girl.
Okay, so moving on. Squall or Laguna?
Ooh.
Laguna.
Yeah, Laguna is much cooler.
He really is. He's
Squall
wearing like
is-
a Hawaiian shirt when you see him in the end. He's just kind of like everyone's wearing these fancy outfits, and he's just wearing like a t-shirt and pants.
I like Squall more than most people though. I think he gets a lot of hate, and I think 8 gets a lot of hate.
I gotta replay that game again. I definitely remember being a bit iffy on it, but I really want to play and just like do everything. Like I want to break it too.
If he is a
I
good
think I
one.
would like it more if I played it now than when I originally did. I think
Yeah.
I bet I would too.
I
Yeah.
think- I think maybe I was just wanting it to be more like 7, and it wasn't. And like this was back when I wasn't even a teenager at that point. So
To be
like,
fair, the plot gets really weird. I mean, there's like monsters on the moon, and I don't quite understand that.
Like moons and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they're
the
just
first
bad
time.
places, basically.
Yeah.
I also think that was just a time where I had to stop a lot of my gaming, actually, just other stuff that was going on. So I don't think I ever gave it a completely fair shot just because of time constraints.
I was really young when I beat it last, and like I think like FF9, it took me a second playthrough when I was like in my 20s to really, click with
Yeah.
hmm
it. Okay, Shulk or Rhine?
Shulk.
oh, why do you make me choose?
Really?
I haven't played.
Why
so-
not both?
No, choose.
Shulk. Sorry, Ryan. You're amusing, but you're kind of a dumbass. So.
I do like his adorable dumbass angle that they tend to give him. Okay, then Shulk or Dunban?
Dunban.
Dunban.
Simultaneous.
He's one of those characters that I wish was the main character, but isn't.
Like Bosch.
Yeah,
he's
like Bosch.
He's like the
Or
Bosch of
like
Xenoblade
using a
Chronicles.
TV example, House MD. I feel he was like the character in everything that was always supposed to get their centric one, and he finally got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a weird off example. Yeah, Dunban is basically like Samurai Jesus, basically. I think to most of us. Okay, Fiora or Melia?
Oh no! Don't do that. That's the worst one.
Mm,
I love
Fiora.
them both.
I thought this was a no-brainer. I'm kind of surprised. I went with Melia.
I really love both of them. They are my favorite characters from Xenoblade Chronicles. I think I might have to give it to Melia though because I loved playing as her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's an absolute horse on the battlefield.
But I do love Fiora, and Fiora is where I got my Final Fantasy XIV character name from. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
That's so sweet. Pyra or Mithra?
Mithra.
Mithra.
Yeah. Did you guys kind of make her the main name for the end, I think?
I'm not that
It's her-
far
I think
yet.
I chose Pyra.
Did you?
But, yeah.
I'm not that far, but I know it happens, and I plan on picking Mithra just because there are so few light blades.
That's true, yeah. And she actually had like a
Yes.
really good skill by the end that absolutely made her worth kind of putting in all the time.
Yeah, and
I think
is
it was like
another-
Pyra wasn't that good, is she? Like as
Well,
far as
that's
rare
the
blade
thing.
tiers go, she's okay.
She's pretty good. She's definitely top tier because otherwise, it kind of defeats the object of her being the Aegis. But it's more her like I like her character kind of, but like there are things that she does. Like she does the embarrassed thing. So she's like, "Oh, I glow when it's all dark." I get embarrassed sometimes. It's like you don't get embarrassed about the outfit you're wearing at all.
And oh yeah, that's right. She goes, yeah, and my outfit's glowing. Yennefer or
That's cute.
Triss?
Triss.
Oh no, I think Triss as well.
Triss.
I like Yennefer. Yeah, this is a pretty hard one, but yeah, I have to go Triss as
Yeah.
well.
Sorry, Yen.
Triss or Ciri?
Oh, Siri.
Siri.
Yeah, definitely Siri.
Moogle or Chocobo?
Moogle.
Oh no.
Hard, but Chocobo.
After the Moogle quests in Heavensward, Chocobo.
Really?
Oh my god, I have done that. It is evil. I hated it so
Yes.
What happens?
Oh,
There's just
God.
so many of them.
There's so many of them, and they need you to find each other and find their Koopa nuts over and over and over
Oh
again.
no, that doesn't sound fun.
And if you're a crafter, you just have to keep repeating the quests. Well, at least in Heavensward you did. I don't think you have to in Stormblood, but oh my god, I never got away from that stupid area because I was a crafter.
I still have Moogle quests there because I don't want to do them.
Oh god.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so cruel.
It-
So it's just basically a very bad fetch quest.
Yeah,
and tons of them. Like, they just don't end.
because they didn't have a better solution to help you level in the middle of the expansion, so you were kind of forced into doing that or spamming dungeons.
Yeah, it's a quest chain that just goes on for a long time.
Like the experience you got from Fates back then was horrifically bad. They've improved it a lot. It's much better in Stormblood, but I think they learned their lesson because of
Yeah.
the Moogle quests.
Yeah, I found that when I was leveling, in Stormblood, I barely had to do the chain quest. Like, there's some zones where I did absolutely no side quests.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't need to. But I was also, like, doing a little bit of dungeon spam, so.
Breath of the Wild Zelda or Skyward Zelda?
Oh, I haven't played either.
I never played
You're out.
Skyward, so Breath of the Wild?
Damn it, this question I guess is hard to apply then. Okay, fine. Based on fashionable digs.
I like.
Those look
I
really
don't know.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the art style is kind of similar, but both because they're like almost half cell shaded. But Breath of the Wild because there's a lot more variety in the outfits.
I liked
I
her
really
outfits
like
too.
Zelda's outfit in Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, I love that.
And I need that
Mod?
that mod.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, that mod looks really cool. See, it's not that hard. Just do it. Just let us play as her.
The Legend of Link.
I'd love to.
Legend of Link.
That would fit.
Yeah, Link can be the damsel in distress for a change, and Zelda can go save the day.
Oh, believe me,
Yeah.
people will get mad at you for that opinion, even though Link has been the hero for all
Bring
time.
it. Bring it.
Breath of the Wild Link or Wind Waker Link?
Wind Waker Link because he's adorable and goes all the time.
Yeah, I think I have to give it to Wind Waker too. That art style is just adorbs.
I love the way he squints when he's doing that, like, against the wall thing.
Yeah.
Like, he looks so mischievous. And I think the selfie mode just makes him even that much more fun.
Yeah. He's
Like,
so
the first time
adorable
I
when
thought he
he's
was fun.
angry.
Yeah, yeah, he's so cute when he's angry. I finally get that now. Aegis or Teddy?
Oh.
Teddy.
Can
Oh,
I
God.
not vote?
I guess kind of creeps me out, to be honest.
It both
Like,
creep me out, to be honest.
Yes, me too. I don't. I'm gonna
Oh,
get
it's
some.
just strange.
I'm gonna get some flack from the Persona fans, but I can't stand either character.
Yeah, same.
I really don't like Teddy. Teddy maybe edges it because of the bear puns. That is it. But
See, I get kind of mixed on both. Like, I like how they kind of treat her weird. Like, she's trying to fit in, but it's very obvious she is not a normal person.
yeah,
And everybody knows it.
Yes, they kind of
Yeah.
force her on you, and I just don't like. Not like that, but like they. Sort of,
See, but like I also like Teddy because he's an actual teddy bear, and he strikes up a great relationship with Nanako, the little girl in the game.
yeah.
And I think the fact that a real
Yeah.
teddy bear is friends with a real little girl is just the cutest thing on the planet. All right, Teddy or Morgana?
Morgana.
Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana.
Uh,
Even though
Like
I
character
don't need to go to sleep right now, stupid cat.
But I'm not a cat.
I'm a real person.
a real person. Oh, but I love seeing that. I like that they actually made a status portrait for Real Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute. Shout out to the kid at the back of the room who doesn't ever tell on you and your cute
Yeah.
cat in your desk. Like,
Why would you? If I saw somebody bring in a cat, I'd just stare at it instead
love
and
it.
just keep it as a
Yeah.
secret.
great.
One of my girlfriends in high school, she brought a lizard all the time, and I loved it.
Oh,
Oh,
so
wow.
cool.
Huh.
It was such a chill lizard.
that is cute. I love lizards. They're so freaking adorable.
Okay, so Yukari or Mitsuru?
Mitsuru.
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 God, thank
Yukari.
God.
I might be the only person who likes Yukari, I think.
Oh, I like her. I just like Mitsuru more.
Mitsuru's really cool and it's hard. I mean, they're gay, right? Like,
I
they
hate the
are.
fact that I like Mitsuru as a person, but not in battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not very good in battle. I think I empathize with Yukari more as a character in a. But yeah, I love them both. Yukari just slightly then.
Naoto or Rize?
Probably Naruto.
Naoto.
Actually, I like Rize. I don't know why. Sometimes the popular girl kind of won me over. But I like Naoto a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
I do like
too
Mitsuru,
clingy.
and I did max her like social link, but I do like Naruto more. To be fair,
I like that I feel like the cast gets a lot less dumber when she's around. She's kind of filling in a lot of
True.
dialogue with good
not the
detective
average
work.
height you do.
Junpei Yosuke or Ryusuke?
Ryuji, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, Ryuji. Oh God, sorry, I mixed the names.
Junpei, I can't stand Yosuke. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm totally broske. I like Yosuke. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
this
not
is,
sorry.
this is bad. This
I
is
think I
bad.
like Junpei's persona the most though, because I did not understand what it was and it just looked insane.
Yeah, I might have to give the edge to Junpei just because of the Chidori arc, maybe.
Well, that was good.
But I
that's
don't.
really
I don't like any of those characters. They're my other least favorite party members in their respective games. So
Yeah.
I like Ryuji the least. Like,
Yeah.
in my ranking would go Yosuke,
Yeah.
Junpei, Ryuji.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like Junpei at first, but he got better later on with the Chidori arc. So
Yeah. I think that's why I'd give it to Junpei too, because like
He's one of few Persona characters with facial hair too.
true.
yeah, it's not that many.
I don't know why that stands out. Like I know exactly why that stands out, but that's besides the point. Liara or Tali?
Tali.
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 I don't really like the Asari much at all.
Yeah.
Especially Liara. Liara herself is like, she gets better in the later games, but she's like really clingy at first.
Yeah.
And even in 3, she's still trying to like hook up with you, and it's just like, no.
Let it
No.
go, girl. You
Let it
can
go.
do it with anybody. Don't just
I know, right?
choose me.
Tali might be my favorite Mass Effect character design.
I love
I
Tali.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Koreans are so cool.
Yeah,
Male ship or fem ship?
Femship.
them.
Femship.
This isn't a stab against male ship. He's a very cool guy. It's just we like playing as girls when we can. You know?
Yeah. Jennifer Hale's voice acting? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
brilliant!
Yes.
So good.
Grass starter, fire starter, water starter.
Oh no, this is
Fire.
the worst question ever.
Oh.
I don't play Pokemon, but I'll say fire because that's just me.
By
Water.
the fact that I've picked more water starters than any other water.
I
Same.
used
It
to go
also
water,
depends
but
on
now
the
I
game.
seem to go grass first.
It depends, but I've definitely had more water starters.
Aika or Fina?
No way! Get out! No! Refuse. Oh.
Aika.
I think
Don't know.
Aika is
I like what both of them do. They are totally opposites and they get along, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aika is my favorite personality. So, yeah.
I like
Sorry.
Aika's personality. I definitely love what Fina's got going for her, though, and she's nice. And I always love how they kind of tease you, where it's like, I don't know, Aika kissed Vise, but Vise is the one that actually Fina hugged, and it's just such a perfect friggin' triangle. It's annoying.
I love the bit in Skies where they all get split up and Aika and Fina wake up in Clara's ship, in her pink ship with her fluffy pillows and her heart-shaped bed, and then they go on like a girls thing together in Nasrad, and I'm just like, yeah, you do this. Like, it's
actually, using like the girl stereotype for a lot of good fun, at least. And and Clara's so fun and sweet. A little bit of a level 5 clinger, but she's sweet. Vise or Zidane?
Stop doing this to me, Vice. Every time. Yeah.
Vice, yeah.
I love Zidane, but I love Vice because I
like
don't know.
that he's a bit more confident in himself.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have that crisis of confidence. There's one bit where he wavers slightly, and all it takes is for Enrique to walk in the room and be like, "I'm not dead," and everyone's like, "Oh, I could do this now." And then Gilda
It does lead to a pretty great moment for Zidane, but
oh yeah. And then there's also the bit there's the character arc in Final Fantasy IX where Zidane's like, "Oh, why do I need to be alive?" And I love that bit. It's one of my favorite.
Good. I'm gonna choose Zidane, but I do love Vice a lot. Like, I do like his self-confidence for his character. They definitely both work in their own contexts.
Mhm.
Neither one is right or wrong. And you're right, it's a cruel question, and I'm sorry for asking it.
Fine, just pick my two favorite games and ask me which one do you like. The characters.
Okay, so Lightning or Velvet?
Oh, Velvet. It's an easy choice for me. Sorry. Even though she has a dreadful outfit, she's a much more interesting character.
I haven't played Materia. I'm bad,
Same.
but I don't like Velvet's outfit, but I have heard that she's a great character, and I really don't like Lightning, so Velvet.
I don't actually get it all the time, because I find Velvet's like 110% of the time edgelord attitude kind of wore me down.
Yeah, it is difficult sometimes, and I think having mellowed on the game a little bit, I still absolutely love it, and it's still one of my favorite Tales games. And I loved
playing as her. I was absolutely having a riot every time she was on.
I was told that I would like Velvet, so I'd have to say Velvet.
I can see that. But yeah, she does play up to the female characters to be interesting, must be really gritty and dark kind of thing. No, she doesn't. But actually, she does get the tender moments, which is gives her
I think Estelle is a good moment of like really. Estelle from Trails in the Sky is a good way to kind of embrace kind of the best parts of being a loud and wonderful protagonist.
Yeah,
like she is the ultimate Genki girl, and she totally has fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
White magic or black magic?
Black.
White.
I'm not a good healer.
White.
Red mage.
I main white mage in 14, so I kind of have to say white.
Okay, so I think we're pretty even there. Knight or mage?
Mage. Although it depends.
It's close.
Yeah, it's maged by an inch. But if you give me a bow, then it's whatever's got the bow.
Forests or wide open plains?
Forests.
Forests.
Oh, I'm the weirdo who does the wide open plains.
Plains are boring.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just like that kind of long stretch of everything to go explore. But I like forests too. I mean, like, again, it's a stupid question, but I'm asking stupid questions here. Fantasy or sci-fi?
Sci-fi.
Oh,
that's tough.
it is hard. I like in the middle. I don't get on with really high Lord of the Rings fantasy, and too much sci-fi can be much, but I will lean towards sci-fi because I do like technology being introduced. Into,
Is it more of a funner, like, kind of fiction device than the Magic did it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say sci-fi too, because more and more of the fantasy I'm reading is either modern or urban or, so.
I feel like there's a bit more to kind of go with sci-fi these days. Certainly games have been having a lot of fun with that setting, I feel.
Because you're dealing with and other worlds and alien races and just all kinds of crazy possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if I'm looking at the Breath of Fire series, Nina, or Nina?
I don't know.
Can I take Nina 3's attitude with Nina 4's design?
I love Nina 4's design. I don't know why. It's so simple, but it's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's simple because that game was like a pure animation, like Wonder Force. So I think they wanted to keep the designs as simple as possible. But I have a weird crush for blonde hair and brown eyes, and I don't know why. And Nina has that, and that's totally what brought that out in me. I don't know why.
I get you.
I'm like, one of my girlfriends dyed her hair blonde, and she got brown eyes. I was like, I find you very appealing now, and she did not like that.
Oh, sorry.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Cats.
Evil.
Wait, am I the only cat person?
No,
I'm pretty sure at one point I heard dags.
Dags. Amazing.
What's and dags?
Yeah, dags.
I like dogs, but I'm a cat person.
Love dogs.
So.
The both is applicable option here. I'll allow it, I guess.
Oh yeah, both.
Do you guys have any? I think I've ran out of my list of things.
I can't think of any.
I had a whole bunch that I should have written down while we were talking that I know would have worked out really good. Ugh. Renoa or Selfie?
Wow.
Neither.
Renoa has a
Can
dog.
I pick neither? I like Quistis best. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Quistis is the best. Renoa has a dog, so she wins by default.
I'll give it to Noah.
That's true, yeah.
I didn't beat 8 because I got stuck on disc 2. I never got back to it, so...
There's a few pain in the ass dungeons in that disc too. I think I know what you're talking about. That I was just
yeah.
It was actually running out of gas in the vehicle that you have in disc 2, and I never got to the gas station. But I just gave up. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the correct answer is Quistis is best.
I agree with
I did
that.
like her too.
I don't know if anyone else thought this or found this, but I do like kind of Quistis is like the kind of traditional American beauty, and Renoa is the very traditional Japanese one.
Yeah.
Or maybe a modern idea of that anyways. Yeah, but I don't know. I always find the two of them look very, very interesting side by side together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice contrasts.
Very much, yeah. And again, just, whenever you see a Japanese protagonist without bangs, I tend to note it. So I was like, wow, Quistis, you look different from everyone.
Forehead.
I have one.
Go.
Reach or flexibility?
Oh.
I'd be a reach person. I picked that.
I'm a flexibility. I always play with faster characters.
Flexibility here.
Yeah, flexibility.
I was a Dragoon in Final Fantasy XIV, so I don't know. I always like that idea of having reach to just stab your enemies from afar.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I say flexibility, but most of the Final Fantasy XIV jobs I play are reach, because I played Dragoon, then I went to Dark Knight, which is giant spear and then giant sword.
Fire or water?
Fire.
Water.
Water.
I'm the only fire one?
No, I'd probably go fire too, actually. I like being warm.
I don't like swimming, but yeah.
It is. Are you guys familiar with Tales of Zestiria?
Yeah. Oh wait, are you bringing out some guns here with Mictlio? Because
no, I actually just found it really interesting because traditionally in the Tales series, the water elemental Undine and the Sylph, who are usually female, were actually male for Tales of Zestiria.
Oh.
Yeah. And they swapped it so
that, and I actually thought
that it was the same for all of them, wasn't it? Because Gnome is usually male as well, but you've got Edna, and then who's female, and then Zavid or Dezel is wind, and they're male, but it's usually Sylph, which is 3 females.
Yeah, and Lila was
and fire as well.
Fire elemental, yeah. So I actually thought that was actually a pretty novel choice in terms of that. Luca, Marley, or Isla?
Oh,
I'm going
Luca.
Isla.
I love Isla, but Luca, and I love Marley, but Luca.
I find Luca gets really good at the end.
Yeah. I also love her. She's like one of the first examples of I'm a brainy scientist and who's female, but also has a backstory that she uses for a positive thing. Like she wants to be a scientist because of her mom, like because her mom lost her legs in an accident and she blames herself, but she doesn't like linger on it all the time. It comes at once, just once, and that's all it needs.
She gets some of the best plot mileage too. Like she's probably one of the most interesting. I think I like Isla just as gameplay wise, but yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Yeah. Luca plot wise is probably the most interesting. And I thought that was actually a really good best friend character. Yeah, they didn't want to do each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked that a lot.
It was just a normal friendship.
I also have to add that Luca and Robo are adorable. So.
I
love that she found a friend in the future, and like that.
That's so fitting for her.
Ellie or Cosmos?
Ellie
every time.
Wow. Oh, I'm a little surprised.
Why?
I don't know. I haven't played Xenogears in a while, so to be fair, I do have to revisit that.
I've never played Xenosaga, but she's it's the same problem I have with Aegis. Like it's a sexy robot, essentially, in a nutshell. But boobs
wearing
for cannons for boobs, cannon boobs.
Cosmos got really carried away with that, where like part of her shirt kind of like rips away for the third form, and it just looks so unnecessary. It's like a little blippy thing out of her chest comes out, and that's literally it, but it's enough to show her whole like chest area. And what's funny is like a lot of I think it's sort of like the Super Robot Tyson, where they get like a whole bunch of characters. And they give her like a really, really booberific cut-in for that, and it's just hilarious to watch. I implore you to all see it, just because it gives her just so funny. It's like that jiggle thing at its most embarrassing. Basically, it's wonderful. Oh, Yuna or Garnet?
Yuna. I love Garnet, but Yuna is
I'll say Yuna.
Keep saying.
I can't.
It's hard, isn't it? I'm like, Garnet is so adorable, but Yuna is.
I think in both cases, I actually respect them almost more than the actual game protagonist. Just a bit.
Yes.
See, that's one thing I think is great about girl characters is that, like quote unquote, they're almost allowed to be emotional. They're almost allowed to get really invested, and I think it's a good way to do that. Not that the guys shouldn't be at all, and Final Fantasy IX is definitely a good case, or 9 and 10 are both great games for the sort of emotional depth that they go through for their protagonists.
I think I have to give it to Garnet. And I love Yuna, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too.
I had a lot of fun asking these cruel questions then.
They were quite cruel. Can confirm.
Okay, so you know what? I think we had a lot of fun here. I think we covered a lot of topics, none all too randomly, quite frankly, actually. Is there any closing remarks that you want to go on? I had so much fun with you guys, and I really hope we actually get to do this again in the future. It was fun having girl talk.
Me too. I would definitely.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And I think we actually did hire another features writer that we could probably see if we can squeeze in for another episode as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to Tina, who is our new. Yeah, we have Tina, who's our newest feature writer. We also have Kat, who is Kyle's wife and streamer. We also have Luna.
Yes, right.
Luna, who does proofreading and writes occasional reviews as well. So shout out to them. Sorry they couldn't be here, but we love you.
We do. Yeah, this episode is for you, for all the girls or for the guys who just want to, kind of dig into sort of, the girl gamer perspective. We've all been gaming for a long time, so we come from a really good place. And we look forward to more, and I hope there's more games that we can talk about. We'll see if we can't find a little more structured thing, but this was like a nice kind of getting to know you episode, I think. All right, so I think there was some outro things. So yes, thanks very much for listening to this very special random encounter. we will be back with more general game discussions soon. If you have any questions or any contributions or stuff that you want us to read on the air, please, we love hearing from you. We are podcast@rpgfan.com. Please reach out to us. You can always comment on our boards or on our social media or Discord. I will probably be the one responding to you on social media. I know we have a whole bunch of moderators, some even here with us on Discord. You can review it. There we go. You can review us on iTunes, Google Play, and various podcasting listening venues. And we do love your feedback, and it does kind of help us reach our audience too. So Twitter, if you guys didn't already come in here from Twitter, you can check us out at RPGFancom. Most places we are actually RPGFancom, and I'm also going to plug to our Instagram, where I've been adding just a ton of really, really, really cool game-related pictures. It's not going to be necessarily news, like our site is generally news, and our discussions are, kind of news-based, but this is just a lot of cool imagery, and games have nothing but cool imagery, so please check it out. Everybody, say goodbye!
Goodbye!
Bye.